Quazi here, and in this video, I'm going to share with you how to change your subconscious beliefs, the ones that you've been programmed unconsciously through the self-reprogramming cycle. Before I begin this video, I wanted to quickly announce that I'm doing a free giveaway of my book, Life Mastery. If you want to enroll into a competition to win this book for completely free at the end of the week, just comment Life Mastery, and every single Friday or even Saturday, we're going to be picking one lucky winner to get this book for completely free in the ebook format. Also, I'm super excited to announce that the free one-to-one consult for the Reality Mastery program is open, so wait till the end of the video for the announcement on that. So with that, let's get started with this video. Now, in this video, I'm going to talk to you about the self-reprogramming cycle and in general, why beliefs occur and how to change your own subconscious beliefs in a very, very powerful manner. Now, before we even begin this, what you got to understand is that anytime you have a belief, there are different levels to it, right? So there are different intensities of beliefs that you can have. So initially, it always begins with a thought or an idea. Anytime something comes to you, you're skeptical about it at first, right? So it initially comes as an idea and you're not too sure about it, you haven't heard it enough, or you're not familiar with it. So it just begins as a thought. And then it goes up to the level of belief. Once you hear about it enough, once there's emotional intensity to it, it actually goes up to the level of belief. And we're going to see this later in the programming cycle. And from a belief, belief is somewhat steady, somewhat stable. You're almost accepting it. This is a belief. And then it finally evolves into the level of conviction. And now a conviction is something that you'll never, ever question. Okay? So this is the highest level you can get to. And every single of your ideas initially runs through this cycle of evolving to conviction. I'm going to show you exactly how this happens. Now, the problem is most people are programmed unconsciously. So any sort of belief systems that you're holding right now, right? Any sort of beliefs, any sort of convictions that you have, more likely than not, they're so tucked away in your unconscious mind that they're unconscious. And as a result of them being unconscious, your life is unfolding in a certain way. Certain decisions that you make, certain things that you focus on is all a result of what your convictions are unconsciously. Because of the way you've been raised, because of what you've heard around you, because of what you've experienced more and more and more. The more you experience something, the more it becomes a reality for you. This is why visualization works. Now, what you got to understand is that there is what is known as incoming and outgoing thought. And by the way, please pay close attention to this because this is going to be a big, big game changer. And this is straight from the Reality Mastery program. So please pay close attention to this video. Now, there are what is known as incoming and outgoing thoughts. Okay? So anytime an incoming thought comes in, it is completely unconscious, okay? This is the product of your environment. When you watch TV, when you hear the news, when you listen to music, these are all incoming thoughts. And now, whenever throughout the day you get these thoughts, they can become outgoing thoughts and they can become conscious outgoing thoughts. But more often than not, thoughts are just becoming data in, data out. You're not consciously choosing the thoughts in your mind. As a result of living unconsciously and being comfortable just letting your mind wander, not having any sort of meditative processes or any sort of control for your attention or even being able to manage your thought processes, you're living in a way that's not conducive to keeping thoughts you actually want to send out. So these outgoing thoughts can become conscious, but right now, more often than not, for most people, it's actually unconscious. So right now for most, definitely incoming thoughts are unconscious. Outgoing thoughts are also most likely unconscious. Now, to really make sense of this, imagine a time when someone asked you how you're doing and you instinctively responded, "Oh, just hanging in there. Just going about. Hanging in there, waiting for the end of the day, waiting for the weekend," instead of saying, "I'm fantastic, I'm really well, blah, blah, blah." You've never really thought about it. It was just an instinctive response. And I know this because I was there too. And every time in school, I remember I would go into the cafeteria in the dining hall. The guy who swipes you into the dining hall would be like, "Hey, how you doing today?" Like, just hanging in there. Exams, school, the usual. So this is the incoming thoughts that other people were saying to me, and I was outgoing and sending those out unconsciously. So these are the two natures of your thoughts. So you can and have complete control over the thoughts that you do send out. Now, the thing is, with enough emotional intensity, any single thought that you project out, any single thought that you choose to cultivate within you, aka an outgoing thought, that can become a reality for you. The mind can't decipher between what's real and what's not real. This is why visualization really works. Because if you visualize with enough emotional intensity, and this is why emotions are important, if you visualize with enough emotional intensity, it will become a reality for you. Your nervous system can't decipher between what's real and what's not. This is why so many athletes visualize sinking shots like Michael Jordan did, or playing tennis, what it feels like when they weren't injured. If you look at some of Tony Robbins' stories in his books, he talks about the importance of visualization and getting emotion into it. So when you get enough emotion into it, your nervous system can't tell the difference between what's real and what's imagined. Okay? So with enough emotions, anything becomes a reality. And now these thoughts, these outgoing thoughts that you consciously choose to cultivate, have the possibility of evolving into beliefs and subsequently into conviction. All right? So to give you an example, this is the horrible incident of Jim Jones and the Kool-Aid, the cyanide-laced Kool-Aid, where there was this religious leader, Jim Jones, who convinced a group of people just by this incoming thought and getting emotion into it. He convinced these people that if you drank this Kool-Aid and died, you would go to heaven to see God. And because he was able to rile up this crowd, right? He was able to really rile up this crowd emotionally. Why Hitler was able to rile up these crowds emotionally. Why all of these people with bad intentions were able to rile up crowds because of the emotions that he was able to invoke within them. And these emotions help your thoughts go from thoughts to beliefs. Because you feel such a strong emotional pull to it, your nervous system can't decipher between what's real and what's not. So it immediately starts to believe that this is the truth. I must do this. This is the truth. So consciousness has no power at this point because people aren't even living consciously. If you chose to consciously observe, is this really true? Is this not true? If you had a good reasoning process in place, then you would obviously be able to decipher between the two. And in order to develop a good reasoning process, click up here. I've actually made a video on this and the difference between reasoning through analogy and reasoning by first principles, which will really change your life. So make sure you click up here to check that out. So now we understood that our emotions help the thoughts go from thought and idea to belief. Now, what really helps beliefs go to conviction? We're going to look at that. So now, looking at the self-reprogramming cycle, this is going to make a lot of sense. So here's the cycle. Now, initially, what happens is you have a thought, right? You have some idea coming in right here. Some thought gets suggested to you. Let's say, oh, you're unattractive. When I was younger, people would tell me, oh, Quazi, you're unattractive. You're not good looking. And then I would feel really shitty about it. I'd be like, what? Really? Am I unattractive? Because at first it was an idea. I was skeptical about it. I'm like, I don't really believe it. So now I'm attaching emotion to it. I'm like, what? I don't really like that. I'm fearful of that. Oh, no, I'm going to die alone. Blah, blah, blah. All of these thoughts, attaching negative emotion to it. And then it actually becomes a belief. It's like, oh, wow. Because I felt so much emotion to it, whether it's positive or negative, because of this emotion, it becomes a belief. So now I truly start to believe that I'm unattractive. Now, the interesting thing is, when that happens, when it actually gets formed as a belief, what happens is your RAS, what is known as your reticular activating system, gets programmed with this idea. Once it's at the level of belief, your reticular activating system gets programmed with the idea that I am unattractive, I am ugly. That was what happened to me. And when this reticular activating system gets programmed, what it does is it literally shuts down everything that would not support this belief and only look for things that do support this belief. So when someone really has a belief, it's hard to actually knock them off that belief because they actually deeply believe it and their RAS is programmed to look for that, only proof of that in reality. This is where confirmation bias comes from. Whatever you're looking for, you will find. Right? So you kind of wear a rose-tinted shade You wear rose-tinted shades and you're only filtering out that which supports your worldview. Unfortunately, you're doing this for things that were unconsciously programmed into you, aka incoming thoughts, and not the thoughts that you consciously chose. All right, so when this happened to me, I was looking for instances in my reality where I am unattractive. So I would go around and be like, oh no, I'm unattractive. What's going on? Oh, look, that girl didn't pay attention to me. You know what? I tried to talk to that girl. She didn't pay attention to me, so I am unattractive. Oh no, look, I don't have friends because I'm unattractive. Shit. So this RAS actually begins to look for confirmation of this happening in your reality. All right? So now you're actually actively looking for confirmation because you're filtering out that which doesn't go with what your RAS has been programmed with. So now I'm looking for confirmation of where I am ugly, where I am unattractive, and I find it. Because whatever you're looking for, you are going to find. Reality is inherently neutral. So after finding confirmation, what really happens is that this belief becomes rooted in conviction. Once I find confirmation, like, this is the truth. I am ugly. See, told you. I didn't want to believe it, but hey, there's proof. Irrefutable proof. And then what happens is this conviction, again, feeds into your RAS more and more, and you start looking for more and more confirmation of your unattractiveness, and this becomes a cycle of hell. Okay, this could be a cycle of heaven, but it's becoming a cycle of hell. And now every single day you're looking for this, and this conviction becomes stronger and stronger, and this is why it's so difficult for people to break free from Groundhog Day. This is why it's extremely difficult for people to actually break free from Groundhog Day. Now, to flip the cycle, you could do that with these outgoing thoughts that you consciously choose to cultivate within you. Right? So if at this point you were to say to yourself, I want to believe I'm the best in the world. Okay, I want to believe I'm a successful this, I'm a successful, let's say I actually want to believe I'm a successful coach and I do good stuff on YouTube, right? So that's what I'm going to start to believe. This is actually what I did. It's a true story. So I started to write down affirmations and thought forms. And again, click up here if you don't know what thought forms are. And what I did was, okay, well, Quazi is a successful coach and his YouTube channel impacts millions and millions in a positive way. Choose to cultivate that thought. And now I tell myself, okay, well, now I got to emotionally charge this. So I start to visualize myself being a successful coach, being, a successful YouTuber, sharing value to people, helping people transform their lives. Eventually, this becomes a belief. So now I start to believe that, you know what? Yes, I am becoming this coach, this successful coach. I'm stepping into that identity of a successful coach. And now my RAS gets programmed. Okay, so the thing with this is because there is always going to be some doubt in the conscious beliefs that you choose to cultivate, you're going to need to override this process when you consciously do this. Just to override that doubt. When it's unconscious, it happens easily because there is no doubt in fear. Whenever you're fearful of something, there's no doubt in it. Whenever you desire something, there's always going to be a little doubt. This is just how society's been. This is just how we've been conditioned. This is just the condition of the world, and it's because of what is known as pendulums. And if you don't know what pendulums are, make sure you click up here. But essentially, you're going to have to override this process on your own when you're choosing to make this a conscious process. So now I'm literally trying to override my RAS because of my doubts. My RAS won't look for this, right? So I believe that I'm trying to trick myself into looking for this. So I just completely override this process and go straight for confirmation. So when I believe it, I'm looking for confirmation now. Okay, so now I start looking for confirmation in my reality where I am a successful coach and a successful YouTuber sharing good value to people. And whenever I see comments that say, hey, look, Quazi, this video really helped me. This was really good. Boom. I make myself, feel good emotion. I'm like, see, this is a reality. Confirmed. I am becoming this successful YouTuber, successful coach. And then when my clients get results, I look at the results my clients have gotten with the program. They send me messages like, hey, Quazi, this helped me so much. Hey, look, this is what I was able to do. I look at that, I'm like, see, this is becoming. I am a successful coach. I'm becoming a successful coach. And this confirmation leads to conviction. Okay? So now slowly, as I'm experiencing this more and more, and I'm actually even visualizing, doing this whole process myself, this is becoming more and more of a conviction every single day. Eventually, my RAS gets programmed to see whenever this is happening. But now for most people, whenever they see a little bit of doubt, they're going to break free. They're going to fall down from that wave they've been riding. That's why you got to keep visualizing and keep doing this process over and over unless you give into pendulums. And now what you got to do is really look for confirmation as well all the time of when this is happening, but still not get reliant on it. Most people get too attached to the results, and that's why they can't draw the state from within. So only look for that which you really want in your reality. Right? So only look for that which actually supports your worldview, just like you unconsciously look for that which that doesn't support your worldview. So to really make sense of that, when my RAS gets programmed with I'm unattractive, I just look for things unconsciously of that which does support that. But we want to override this process and consciously do this. So what we want to do is completely ignore anything that doesn't support that and look for proof that does support I am a successful coach. Okay, so anything that says, oh, this video was shitty, you're like the new Jim Jones, Quazi, you're teaching all of this false prophecy bullshit, blah, 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 law of attraction isn't real, completely ignore that. Completely ignore all of those. Because I know that I'm giving people some value. I know I'm helping change maybe one more life. If I can do that, I'm going to keep doing that. And that's why I keep programming myself and only look for that which actually supports this and helps me carry out my mission. So with that, I conclude this video and I hope this was helpful. This is something that helped me understand how thoughts really become convictions. And just to recap, we're going to go back and look at the 3 levels of belief, which is initially you get an idea, you're skeptical about it, then it goes to belief, kind of strong, through emotional repetition, it becomes a belief, and then through confirmation, RAS programming, it becomes a conviction. Most people are programmed unconsciously through the incoming thoughts that they do get because of their childhood, because of what's happened, and it's unfortunate that it is easier to get unconsciously programmed rather than program yourself consciously. Now, the thing with that is, this is a deeper principle in reality called karma. It's an ancient yogic principle called karma. Now, if it's not written in your destiny, what I say is you consciously write it yourself. This is what the essence of the reality mastery program is. You have 100% the tools to do that. The tool of consciousness is all you need. If you learn to manipulate your own consciousness, you're going to be able to write whatever it is you want in your own destiny. Okay? If you break free from karma and the cycle that keeps going on and on, know the right things to do in order to break free from it, then rest assured, you're going to be writing your own destiny. And that's what we do in the program. So, unfortunately, most people get programmed unconsciously, and it's hard to break free from that programming because of that cycle they've been going through. They've been like conviction, confirmation. I am this. This is 100%. I am this. I'm a night person. I can't do any morning activities. I can't do this. I can't do that. I'm just not a social person. I'm just closed off. I'm unattractive. All of these things have been unconsciously programmed to you because you didn't choose it. Because truth is, you can be whoever it is you truly want to be, right? So there are incoming thoughts and outgoing thoughts. Incoming thoughts are unconscious because this is a result of what you're receiving. Now, you've got to be conscious enough to watch out for what you're accepting, okay? So human beings, we're just innocent. We're just innocent little creatures. We'll believe anything we get enough emotional intensity with. This is why it's so easy to manipulate other people. You can use media to manipulate other people. If people see an advertisement for long enough, they start to believe it's real. Oh, I've seen this everywhere. Oh, I felt something when I saw it, so this must be real. Not true. So incoming versus outgoing thoughts, right? Outgoing thoughts can be conscious, but most people regurgitate their incoming thoughts into outgoing thoughts, aka Quazi when asked, how are you doing today, Quazi? Hanging in there because I've heard other people say this, right? With enough emotional intensity, your nervous system can't decipher between what's real and what's not real. So any thought that you have goes up to the level of belief easily with enough emotional intensity. And again, to give you an example, Jim Jones and Kool-Aid, Hitler influencing people, any other big guy with bad intention, bad guy trying to influence a large herd of people to do something that they want them to do. You just got to emotionally pump them up because then it gets them from thought to belief and eventually with confirmation to conviction. And this is a self-reprogramming cycle again. So anytime you have a thought, it goes through some emotional feeling, it goes up to the level of belief. With belief, you're programming your RAS and your RAS gets programmed, you start to look for confirmation of that in your reality. And then it eventually gets to the level of belief, level of conviction. If you want to do this consciously, you got to override this process consciously. This whole thing, you got to do this consciously until it really becomes rooted in conviction. And then it just becomes a part of you. Okay? And with that, I conclude this video. Thank you so much for watching. I sincerely hope this helped. Please leave me a comment letting me know what you thought of this. I know it's a different kind of video. I'm trying to give you guys as much value as I can with this. I'm learning a lot. I'm learning how to transform my clients' lives, so I'm trying to share this in my YouTube channel. So please let me know in the comments what you thought of this. If you liked this, if you thought it was shitty, just let me know, Quazi, this was shitty. Don't make videos like this ever again. And I would appreciate your feedback. And also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit that little bell there so you're notified of any new video that I put up. Videos are up on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, 1 p.m. on Thursdays, aka today. I'm kind of late because editing takes a little longer, but hope you appreciate you waiting for it. And also, I'm super duper excited to announce that we're growing a massive Facebook group. And I know I'm really backtracked on getting people into the group, but I promise, it'll be done soon. We're trying to get at least 100 members in every single week. So make sure you click on the link in the description below to join the Facebook group, and I hope I see you there. Also, I'm super excited to announce that the Reality Mastery Program is open for enrollment, and we are absolutely crushing it with the 2.0 version of the Reality Mastery Program. Clients are getting amazing results. We're getting a lot of clients into the program, and also I would be super hyped to have you in it as well. So to really, see if we're a right fit to work together, to see if I'm the right fit to help you get to the next level in your life and really transform everything, just click down in the link in the description below to sign up for a free one-to-one consult where we will be diagnosing your current law of attraction practices, what you've been doing in your life, and see how we can get you to that next stage, and if the 2.0 version of the Reality Mastery Program will be a right fit to get you there. So just click on the link in the description below. Hope I see you there. And thank you so much for watching. Till next time. Peace.